Hello everybody, I'm just going to do a quick little video here to show how I do my dyes. I dye very small quantities of dye at a time, of yarn at a time, so I don't use great big dye vats. I have several crock pots or slow cookers that I use instead, and they will hold about 100 grams of yarn at a time, but I usually dye in smaller quantities, 20 and 50 grams, so that I'm able to get a larger variety of color from the dye. So what I do is I have mordanted the yarn already into 20 gram skeins, and I've done these with an alum mordant. And I've now put some water into the slow cooker, and I've heated it up so that it's warm. And I'm going to just use a small amount of dye in this. I don't use great big amounts. These little scoops, which I think come from baby formula stuff, are great to use. They're about, one scoop is about 5 grams of dye, and I'm using a Dyers Madder, and I use beakers, and I put the dye into the beaker, and then I pour some hot water into it. And I'm going to stir that up. With the dye, with just some bamboo sticks. So that's mixed up. With Brazil wood and some of the other ones, I put them in an alcohol soak first, but I'll explain that another day. This one is just, I just do in the hot water and stir it. And then I don't pour all of the dye into the vat at the same time, because I want to get different colors and different shades of color. So I have this mixture ready to go. And I found these lovely little tea strainers, which work perfectly for this. I used to pour the dye into the yarn into the vat, and it would just, I'd get dye dust all over the place and stuff. But this just kind of filters the dye out, and it doesn't get into the yarn. It's much easier and cleaner to do. So I'm just going to pour some of that into the dye vat, and I'm going to leave that sitting in there. Stir this up. And then I'm going to place one of the skeins of yarn into the vat and let it soak for about an hour. And I'll come back and look at it. I don't want this to get too hot, because if with madder, if you cook it too hot, it starts to turn brown rather than oranges and reds. So you have to keep the temperature quite low on it. So don't let it get to boiling. And that's it for now. Then I put the lid on it, and I come back and check it later. And I do a similar process for all of the different colors, but as I go through different colors and dyes, I will show you the specific things that I do for the different yarns. Thank you.